When we talk about NBA superstars, names like Jokic, LeBron, Giannis, Curry, Durant, Embiid, and Luka often steal the spotlight. And yes, they deserve it. Oh, they're fantastic, no doubt about it. But there's one guy whose brilliance seems to be tucked away in the shadows. I'm talking about none other than the maestro of the Atlanta Hawks, the ice-cold sharpshooter, the ankle breaker extraordinaire, Trae Young. This man has been turning heads and leaving defenders in his dust with jaw-dropping plays all season long. The Hawks might not have recently repeated their 2021 Eastern Conference Finals run, but Trae has been keeping his form intact. But here's the puzzling part. Trae isn't getting the love he deserves when we talk about the cream of the NBA crop. Are we missing something here? Is there a hidden secret, a conspiracy, or is it just plain old oversight? Now, it's time to give credit where credit is due. Trae Young has proven time and again that he's the real deal. He's got the skills, the passion, and the flair that makes him a superstar. So let's stop the doubting, let's end the disrespect, and let's shine the spotlight on one of the most underrated players in the NBA today. But before we get to all that, you know the drill, fam. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and slam the notification bell so you never miss out on our mind-blowing NBA content. And now, let's get this show on the road. I've got to admit, this guy is one tough nut to crack. I mean, seriously, is he overrated, underrated, or just right on the money? One moment, he's gliding across the court, touching defenses like wildfire. And you start wondering, is this guy even real? I mean, those stretches where he's on fire, pure magic. But then, just as you're about to crown him king of the hardwood, boom, he hits a rough patch. And suddenly, he's lost in the shuffle. You catch yourself wondering, is it the same guy who was dropping dimes like it was nothing? When those open threes are falling and he's got that floater on lockdown, it's like watching a symphony of destruction. Defenses crumble, and he's orchestrating plays with precision. This previous season, he averaged 26.2 points and 10.2 assists per game. Those are all-star numbers, no doubt about it. But he was left out in the cold, snubbed for the 2023 FIBA World Cup roster. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds like a major injustice to me. I mean, come on. We're talking about one of the most electrifying players in the league here. Is there some sort of conspiracy against Trae or what? But not everyone's blind to the truth. You know it's real when even the reigning NBA champ, Michael Porter Jr., steps up and speaks the truth. He didn't hold back. He recently said, "I'd put Trae up there with pretty much anyone." And you better believe it, because the numbers and the plays back it all up. And he's right. Trae's got that special sauce that only a few in the league possess. Now, Trae Young is not just underrated among NBA stars, but even among point guards. Now, let me set the record straight right from the get-go. Among point guards, Trae Young is the definition of underrated. It's like he's been banished from the top 5. But here's the thing, his stats don't lie. He's putting up numbers that rival the best at his position, and that's a fact. Unlimited range? Check. Elite mid-range game? Double check. This man's got a floater that can make defenders question their life choices. And that's not all. When it comes to playmaking, Trae is in a league of his own. His basketball IQ is off the charts, and his passes are like poetry in motion, Jokic-like. There aren't many with a higher basketball IQ and passing ability than him in the league right now. Now, there's this weird villain label that's been slapped on him, but he's not backing down from it. Remember the Eastern Conference Finals in 2021? Trae showed the world what he's made of, flexing his skills on the grandest stage in Madison Square Garden. Oh, and let's not forget, he went ahead and ended the process in Philadelphia. Don't get me wrong, Trae Young is a scoring machine, an offensive wizard, no doubt about it. But, and this is a big but, we can't overlook the other half of the game, defense. Let's call a spade here. Let's face it, on the defensive end of the floor, Trae's game is a bit, well, lacking. Some might even call it a black hole of defense, and advanced metrics don't lie, and they paint a pretty clear picture of his struggle on that end. Some say he's one of the worst defenders in the league, and hey, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. His defensive game has room for improvement. Personally, if there is a good supporting cast built around, which there is, his defense will not be regularly questioned. You see, the Hawks are pretty solid, and since they are still pretty young, it will only get better. The offensive firepower Trae brings to the table is off the charts. He's like a scoring machine, racking up points and dishing out passes. And you know what? When you have that kind of offensive brilliance, it can make up for some shortcomings on the other end. Look, we've seen this before in the NBA. Remember when people used to question Steph Curry's defensive abilities? Yeah, some folks would credit his defense more than his actual skill. But just like Trae, Steph had the right support around him, and the Warriors knew how to play to their strength. If the team was built of nothing but offensive players, then it would be harder to hide how bad he is on defense. The rest of the team and the scheme he is in make up for his deficiency. Now, I'm not comparing him to Trae as far as ability goes. He is a better defender than Trae. Just saying that he and Trae are in the same type of boat. offensive juggernauts that most would be happy to overlook their shortcomings on defense. The Atlanta Hawks had that thrilling run to the conference finals in 2021. But let's not overlook the less than stellar seasons that bookended it, especially that 2020 disaster, despite a lot of talent around them. In the more recent 2022-23 season, they finished 41-41 and became the 7th seed in the East. But they were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs by the Boston Celtics. Trae's defensive weaknesses sometimes takes a toll on the team's overall performance. As they say, defense wins championships, and the Hawks have learned that the hard way. Now, I get it. Casual fans love Trae's offensive fireworks. And hey, I'm one of them. But we can't overlook the glaring holes in his game. If he wants not to be underrated, then he's got to at least become a decent defender. Look, I'm not saying Trae can improve or that he doesn't have potential. But for now, let's not brush aside the reality just because the offensive numbers are eye-popping. As much as I appreciate offensive talent, we can't ignore the importance of being a well-rounded player. Disrespected. Aside from being underrated, Trae is more forgotten and disrespected. He is no joke. This dude is an all-NBA caliber player, and the numbers don't lie. His stats back him up. But the fan base doesn't seem to want to award him that recognition for reasons I don't understand. Yes, I know people don't talk about you if your team is not winning. Trae's team has been hovering around .500, but that ain't his fault, not even close. Look at the roster, man. Every other player seemed to have taken a step back, but Trae, at most times, he has stepped up his game like the true leader that he is. Let's face it, when it comes to popularity, Trae isn't exactly stealing the show like some of his counterparts. But here's the thing, calling him underrated might not be the right word in this case. It's more about the bright lights and the media hype. Look at Embiid and Jokic, for instance. These dudes are balling at an MVP level, yet they don't always hog the headlines like King James, Steph Curry, or Luka Doncic, right? It's all about their market and the media coverage they receive. Trae's got skills for days. I mean, the dude can drop dimes, but hey, let's be real. His style isn't as explosive as Ja's. It ain't as flashy as LaMelo's, and it ain't as unorthodox as Luka's. That's just not his vibe, and that's totally okay. I think the key to unlocking Trae's true potential is all about those crucial moments when he's draining those open threes and those mesmerizing floaters. When those shots are falling, oh boy, the defense is in the world of trouble. When Trae's on, he's on. And when he's off, well, you better believe he's working tirelessly to get back on track. That's what separates the great from the good, the legends from the ordinary. Trae Young's work ethic is second to none, and that's what keeps him in the conversation as one of the NBA's most enigmatic stars. Trae is no villain. He's a hero in his own right. On the court, he's a stone-cold baller, and off it, I'm sure he's a stand-up guy. But when that whistle blows, it's all out war, and Trae's bringing his A-game. Now, I want to hear what you think. Is Trae Young overrated, underrated, or is he riding that fine line of being properly rated? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get this basketball debate going. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because we're here to keep you in the loop with all the latest NBA news and stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next buzzer-beating episode. Ciao.